Well, Steve White Trekboy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, it looked like there was a new a new game in town so far as Paramount and the endless bidding war. But apparently Mr. Bronfman is already gone. I just did a video the other day about this because I'd heard about last minute they had made a bid, and I heard later it was within the last 10 minutes of the time frame, the 45 days that they had, that Paramount had to consider other offers. But I hear it's already been retracted. There were issues with substantiating the $6 billion bid that Bronfman made and his investors, maybe because they didn't leave them enough time, I don't know. But also, I think Skydance was considering legal action because they felt it was in bad faith the way they had waited until the last minute when they basically had completed everything and they were I think, into actually putting things in motion to actually buy Paramount. So he stepped out, he stepped back, he basically retracted the offer and put up a message saying he was honoured to have been involved and he respects Paramount and wishes everyone well, I think, basically is all he said. But yeah, so now it looks like it's done. Skydance is taking Paramount, and Paramount will stay Paramount, but it's going to have a lot of changes. They've already fired a lot of people, thousands of staff, whole departments have been gutted. They're going to be merged or replaced, or it's a mess at the moment, and that's usually what happens when one company takes over another company. But things like Paramount Home Video, Paramount TV, Paramount Home Entertainment, all the different departments of Paramount are all in flux. Will they just get new people to take them over? Will they be gone? Will they be merged? Will they, with other departments? No one knows. It's going to be a mess. It's going to take a year or so for this to be all planned out and start to be implemented. So it's a bit depressing for Star Trek fans because we've had hope over the years that something would save Star Trek. The whole split of rights was something where we all thought when the companies came back together that they would be able to make real Star Trek again and use the original IP and not focus on the Secret Hideout, Kurtzman, JJ, Bad Robot universe. But because those contracts were in place and the merger didn't actually cancel any contracts or change anything, all that just kept going. Then there was hope when they sold the studio that someone coming in, they would shuffle things up in order to sell the studio or to make it look more saleable, or once someone took over, they would want to reassess everything, put a pause on things, and hopefully they would look at Star Trek and see there's problems. And the idea of creating a Star Trek studios that just focus on producing Star Trek in-house, so they didn't have to deal with an external studio like Kurtzman with their own sort of interests coming in. It's the best thing that they could do, is just to bring Star Trek in-house again, produce it themselves, and they don't have to pay someone else to do it and worry about them trying to avoid using the actual licensing and characters and so forth and likenesses, and creating their own so that they get their own monetary motivations, affecting their artistic choices. So that was a hope, and now that seems to be gone because Skydance has already been involved with Bad Robot and Secret Hideout, and although there's rumours they don't like Kurtzman personally, they're not sort of willing to throw everything out and start again. They're just going to manage what they've already got, the contracts they've already got, and the relationships they've already got, which means basically Kurtzman's going to keep making shows that don't have anything to do with Star Trek, that Star Trek fans don't recognise and don't like, chasing the general audience, the general sci-fi audience, and that's what Starfleet Academy is. It could have been great, it could have been interesting if they'd set it in the Star Trek universe or even the timeline of the other Star Trek universes, but putting it in the 31st century Kurtzman universe, it's really got no hope of being relevant or being any good. Much like, I don't know, like a third season of Star Trek Discovery was probably the worst season of anything they've ever produced. 4 actually had a few good episodes and got better. 5 was just trying to be other things. If they'd stayed on that season 4 route and just kept building on that, it could have been a decent season, but they just threw it all in the air and said, let's just do Indiana Jones this year. God. So yeah, so it looks like it's all said and done. Skydance is going to be buying Paramount, and nothing is really going to change with Star Trek. And Kurtzman looks like he's going to just keep going on till he retires, and I don't have much hope that whoever takes over from him will change anything, because unless they have their own ideas and so forth, they're just going to continue on with what he was doing. So I guess Star Trek is dead on some level. It's just no one involved either understands it or cares about it and wants to actually do anything for fans, because I guess the vague interest from the general audience is enough for them, and the hope of growing that is enough for them, rather than the fan base they already had and nurturing that and so forth. So yeah, looks like we've just been thrown out in favour of the general audience, and we're probably never going to get a recognisable Star Trek back. Something that's actually science fiction and intelligent and so forth. So, R.I.P. Star Trek again, I guess.